Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you having a good night. Let's get straight to it.
I wish I could tell you guys what's going on right now, but I can tell you it's about to get insane. The reason that all the flights were grounded earlier today, the reason for the huge outages, and the companies in charge of these companies, which are all having outages and having to land at the same exact time. I'll tell you the rest right after this, real quick.
Tonight, as you are well aware, I'm sure, much of the world is grappling with a major computer shutdown. Now, here in Australia, banks, broadcasters, even airports have been affected. That's just to name a few.
What the hell?
Shops have been unable to take any transactions. The effects have hit simultaneously, not just in Australia, but in the US, Europe, and elsewhere. We're at the forefront of this massive outage.
This is happening at the same time that any country that's in alignment with the US, because earlier today, there were extremely important revelations going around and discoveries being made about things that happened a few days ago. So when all these discoveries started to hit the web,
a huge unfolding story in Australia and right around the world, but we can't bring it to you in the normal way. Why? It's affecting us at Sky News and Foxtel, many customers, many users, many businesses. What's happened is we believe a malware company called CrowdStrike has essentially gone down.
And remember, this is CrowdStrike. Things are about to get crazier than we have ever seen in the United States. We even have stuff like this. Supreme Court reconsiders case to reinstate Trump. And if you want to know what life-changing revelation information that just came out, go to the little bird.
Shoutouts to Inspired by the King. I got lots of questions on this one, and those companies that own CrowdStrike look very familiar.
Are we being completely lied to again? And then as the truth comes out day by day, we'll find it out on TikTok? Well, this whole Microsoft update thing that, it wasn't an attack, it was just an update, but it affected people globally, right? Okay, well, I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation so TikTok understands it better, and then you guys can determine whether what I'm saying is a possibility or not, but it's only hypothetical, of course. So I have a very good friend that lives in India, and I speak to him almost every day about social media and websites and whatever, and I couldn't get in touch with him this morning. So I figured it was the update from Microsoft could be the problem. Well, he finally gets back to me and he says, I'm very sorry for the late reply, but we're having major issues over here due to the cyber attack. I said, no, it wasn't a cyber attack. It was an update from Microsoft. And he says, no, you are misinformed. That's what they're telling you. Now, of course, this is hypothetical. You'll have to check this out for yourself. I'm just saying, a situation that could have happened. Anyways, so then he goes on and says, also look up WAZIRX, I think it is. It's a cryptocurrency thing in India. They mysteriously lost $230 million of cryptocurrency. Look it up because it's hypothetical and I don't even know if you'll find it on Google. Unbelievable. It will slowly probably come out on TikTok just like the Secret Service. But anyways, thanks media, thanks government for being so truthful to us.
Shoutouts to Mary the Welder. I don't know if this is verified or not. To all my Indian fans, let me know if this is real. This company that supposedly lost all its money in cryptocurrency. I haven't heard about it. It's my first time hearing about it. So hypothetically, for entertainment purposes only, I'm beginning to ask myself, is this all connected?
So India's most popular cryptocurrency exchange has confirmed a major security breach, resulting in a loss of funds exceeding $230 million. This is very concerning, and it highlights the importance of prioritizing the security of our funds. When it comes to crypto exchanges and wallets, you just have to be more selective. So the best advice is to choose an exchange that offers such features for peace of mind.
Shoutouts to Fire Earth. Mary the Welder was right. I don't condone the advice that she's giving as far as cryptocurrency. Do your own research. I'm not here to give advice, but this is crazy.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. So you guys remember, for those of you who have watched the Obama documentary / demonic prophetic movie on Netflix, Leave the World Behind. If you guys remember, there's an airplane scene where clearly the airplane crashes in the scene, and then, we know the rest. And we know that in the movie, it was due to a cyber attack that shut down all the nation's systems, communications, XYZ. Again, if you've watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I would say go watch it and start picking it apart, because they're trying to tell you something. But we know today we had a cyber attack via CrowdStrike. If those who are in IT, like myself, you know what company CrowdStrike is and what they do. And today, I don't know if we want to quantify or qualify today as a test or the beginning of something, but it's quite convenient that the nation's flights are totally shut down. And I mean shut down. I mean, I'm an aviation enthusiast, so I can spot any plane in the sky. I can tell what it is, what manufacturer, what model. That's my thing since I was a child. Today has been like 9/11. For those of you who are old enough to remember 9/11, there wasn't a plane in the sky, not one in the sky. Today has been the most quiet sky day. I was telling my wife that. So they're trying to tell us something, but I would say if you haven't watched it, go watch it. For those who already know, be prepared. This is just the beginning of the things that they're trying to pull. No matter what the narrative story is, I've been telling you guys over and over again, they're going to start hitting your infrastructure, money, financial institutions, bank collapses, dollar collapses. I've been saying it over and over, and I know you'll come back here and see it when those things continue to happen, but that's not even the point. The point is, are you prepared? Real quick, I'm going to be dropping an ebook soon about how to be financially prepared in these end times. It's specific for those who listen, typically will be believers, but you don't have to be a believer to read it. But for those of you who keep up with what I talk about, I'm getting an ebook ready for you guys, and it's coming out soon. So be prepared. Leave the world behind. Leave the world behind for Jesus. Amen. Not for this. All right. Bye.
Shout out to Lord Leo, making a great point. The skies were very quiet. How this movie is suddenly relevant again. I might have to take a look at it myself. Once again,
George, this is CrowdStrike we're talking about. Is this Falcon, which is your best program? And I need to know, why did you not phase this in? Why was this done all at once? That seems to be, to me, irresponsible.
Well, it traditionally goes out in a phased approach, and it goes through, what we do is, we've been doing this a long time, testing throughout the life cycle of any of these updates. So, it initially went out and we started to see some issues and then pulled it back. So not all of our customers are impacted. Windows and Linux are not impacted. And as soon as we saw this issue, which didn't manifest itself before we obviously sent it out, we rolled it back. And, now we're dealing with, the impacted systems.
That's crazy. So it appears that JetBlue and Southwest don't use Microsoft platforms. Therefore, they were not affected. Sounds like they were smart.
Airports filled with inconvenienced passengers.
It kind of sucked because we were in line for like almost an hour just to get to the pre-check.
Behind the scenes, in cyberspace, there was a larger threat.
When the system goes down, when you're trying to fix it, you're vulnerable to nation-state interference and other things that could have happened. So a bad guy can exploit the vulnerability very quickly and create problems even bigger than the programming error.
Austin, Texas-based CrowdStrike was responsible for the programming error that hit in the early hours yesterday morning, affecting banks, communications, and healthcare, where dependency on electronic medical records left some doctors and nurses paralyzed.
We do everything on our computers now. People's medical history, their allergies. So when that goes down, we have to revert back to paper charting.
New York's Memorial Sloan Kettering postponed all procedures requiring anesthesia. Atlanta's Emory Healthcare delayed certain types of surgeries. And Seattle's Children's Hospital closed its outpatient clinic. By afternoon, airports and other computer-dependent services saw an easing. But the disruption is likely to ripple through the weekend, and now raises a question about a system so vastly dependent on a single company.
are more people not talking about what is happening in Bangladesh right now because it is actually wild. So this week, massive protests erupted across the country. So in response, not only has the entire population been placed under a curfew enforced by the military, but the government also ordered the closure of all universities and have completely shut down the internet and all mobile services to try and stop the unrest. I mean, can you just imagine if your government shut down your internet? That's a country of over 170 million people now cut off from the world. That's wild. And it's literally turning into something you'd see in a movie because now they've stormed a prison and broken hundreds of people out. The government is being hacked by a group called The Resistance. And on the official website of the Prime Minister, it currently reads, "Stop killing students. It's not a protest anymore. It's a war now." What they're referencing is the 105 people so far killed in these protests according to an AFP count. So you're probably wondering, what has caused all of this? Well, Bangladesh have a job system in which more than half of government jobs are reserved for specific groups. And out of the total, only 44% of them you can actually get hired for based on merit. And when you have a country where over 40% of the youth are neither working or in university, jobs really matter. Some students want this job system abolished, while others want it to remain, which is why things have turned so violent and words like civil war are floating around now. But the only reason I even found out that this was going on was because hundreds of you guys messaged me. And it's just crazy that things like this can happen in the world and you can just go unaware.
Shout outs to Bangladesh. I haven't heard about this one bit. Shout outs to Dylan Page. That's an insane scenario. I couldn't imagine no internet.
Anybody living in Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, or anywhere near the Madrid fault line, you might want to have an evacuation plan, and quick. St. Louis has been hosting disaster simulations with the help of the National Guard, preparing for an 8.4 earthquake. So if you don't know, back in 1811, there was an earthquake in the same area and it caused major damage, and it also caused the Mississippi River to flow backwards for 3 days. So if they're going as far as having the National Guard come out to prepare and practice, get ready for the earthquake, y'all, anyone in that area should be preparing as well. The weather in the U.S. has been so unpredictable lately, like you can kind of tell like it's not natural. This is not global warming. In Houston, they're preparing for a winter storm to come in the summer. Chicago just had 10 earthquakes. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this ain't nothing natural about it. If there's a massive earthquake, there's a huge chance that this shit is going to split right down the middle, just like Continental split on Tubi, because they have to let us know these things. They put it out there for you to know. Anybody near there, once it splits, it's pretty much cooked. So you might want to start making plans right now.
Shout outs to Keith for the win. And shout outs to Missouri. I agree. At this point, anything could happen.
I have to get this out before I forget it. Missouri is currently preparing for an earthquake drill, a massive earthquake drill for an 8.4 magnitude potential earthquake, right? Well, you know how the law of the universe requires them to tell us what they're going to do before they do it. They have to put it out there because they are not creative. So they have to put the information out there and tell us what they're going to do and hide it in plain sight. Because if they don't, that karma gonna eat that ass up. And even more so, it won't happen because, again, they're not part of the collective. They're not part of the consciousness. They have no souls. So they have no creativity. So in order for them to create events or create things to happen, they have to put it in our minds first. So tell me why. A couple of weeks ago, I noticed that there was this movie about my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, on Tubi. And I was like, what the fuck? What is this? I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't watch all of it. 2 minutes in, I learned this is a movie about an earthquake splitting the continental U.S. into 2 parts. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but like I said, Missouri is currently preparing for an 8.4 magnitude earthquake, a potential earthquake that could potentially be happening, that for whatever reason, they had to bring out the American military, the National Guard, to handle a potential accident. With that being said, what I wanted to come over here and tell you is what I believe is really going on. They're getting rid of evidence. In a previous video or several previous videos, I've explained that America is ancient Egypt and that specifically the Mississippi River is the true Nile River. And I specifically highlighted the cities that currently and have always sat on the Mississippi River: Thebes, Alexandria, Cairo, all of these places, right? You know, Missouri sits right on the Mississippi River, right where the Gateway Arch is, right? And if you are a true critical thinker and a true deep diver, then you have already done your research on Tartaria and how they have gotten rid of historical evidence by creating these natural disasters, earthquake, tornadoes, fires, and then rewriting history and acting like things never happened, right? What if this earthquake that's going to happen on the Madrid fault line that goes straight through the Midwest and conveniently straight through where the Mississippi River is? What if they're trying to get rid of ancient artifacts, ancient information, ancient downloads, underground information, underground tunnels, buildings, architecture, everything to rewrite history or to not have us access the truth? I'm just saying. Don't trust anybody and question everything.
All right, I'm just going to preface this by saying that this video is for entertainment purposes only. So right now I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see that in St. Louis, they are currently the government is doing drills for an 8.5 earthquake, like catastrophic level earthquake right now. The reason that they're doing this in St. Louis is because of the new Madrid fault line. There is a fault line, if you're not familiar, that runs through the US. Now, some time ago, somebody, I don't remember his name, and honestly, I ran to TikTok to make this video really quick, and I just don't feel like going through all the extra research, but if you want to look it up, you can figure out who made this map right here, okay? But this man predicted that if the fault line is triggered with an earthquake in the US, this is the flooding that is supposed to happen, and this is what the new US map will look like. Now, people have said, oh, that's not real, that's not real. But right now, today, the government is doing drills for an 8.5 earthquake in St. Louis. All right. Look at this. So, New York is gone, okay? California, Nevada, Utah, some parts of Mexico, Arizona, all the way through into Colorado. Basically, the middle of the U.S. may be okay. The Mississippi is going to flood. Basically, everything right along the fault line is going to have an issue, and it's going to cause destruction. Now, I'm not trying to make anyone panic. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and a lot of people have debunked this map. And that's fine, but there is a fault line there. And this was a map that was created should that fault line ever have an earthquake.
Shout out to the sky is falling _222. Yo, I've seen that map before. Maybe in another variation, but it's been going around.
You've been like me. You've been watching what has been going on in St. Louis. If you live in the Midwest area, this is something that you want to pay attention to. The National Guard has been running drills in St. Louis and along the Mississippi River, allegedly practicing exercises in case of an 8.4 earthquake. So something called the Madrid fault line, and it goes along through Nashville, St. Louis, Memphis, I believe Chicago, Indiana, and they are suspecting a large earthquake to take place. And if this happens, it will split open the land. A massive earthquake will happen, collapse of flooding and with ocean water can happen to these different states. Mind y'all, with all of these new increasing events of our weather, with the strength and the storms that are happening all across the United States, with us being able to see earthquakes daily all over the world, not just in the United States. The earth temperature has been skyrocketing. Our seas have been heated completely to just heated for no reason. We are seeing category 7, 8, 5 all over the complete world. With this happening, it could literally cause this Madrid fault line to basically split open the land, have massive earthquake collapses happening, flooding occurring, and complete states being underwater. This could change everything. It could change the climate patterns. It can affect the farmland and so many other devastating things that will cause things like famines and terrible crisis all over the world. In Mark, the 13th chapter, one of the disciples was having a conversation with Jesus concerning the signs of the end of age. And this is Mark 13. As he was leaving the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what massive stone, what magnificent buildings. Do you see all these great buildings?" Replied Jesus, "Not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, James, John, and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things happen? And what will be the sign that they are all about to be fulfilled?" Now watch this. Jesus said to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name, claiming I am he, and will deceive many. When you hear wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still not to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places, and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains." We are already past the point of seeing, in my opinion, so many birth pains. We've seen so many. We're seeing earthquakes back to back to back every single day all over the world. Okay, so like a day ago, there was a sonic boom that was heard in New Jersey. But not only that, there was a meteor spotted at around 11:17 a.m. and it was traveling 34,000 miles per hour. NASA stated a meteor had flew over New York before basically breaking apart in the sky. Now, if we read Revelation, the 16th chapter, 16 and 17, give me a second, let me find these things. The seventh angel poured out his bowl into the air, and out of the temple came a loud voice from the throne saying, "It is done." Then there came flashes of light, lightning, rumbling, peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake. No earthquake like it has ever occurred since man has been on earth. So tremendous was the quake. Now, the more that this earth ramps up with so much sin and evil, we are seeing more and more different things happening to our earth. Whether it's earthquakes, whether it's storms, this meteor. And I believe the more we escalate in the spirit realm with these different prophetic events, we are getting closer and closer to a lot of what the Bible has prophesied. Now, the Bible is not in chronological order. So this is talking about the seven bowls. That's different. The seven bowls are different. You know, that's judgment. Okay. That's judgment straight from God. That's a little different. So we're spotting meteors. We are seeing, what we're seeing in our earth is we're coming closer and closer to a lot of the judgment from God. And a lot of people feel like, no, we haven't even hit the seals yet and all this other stuff. Baby, we are here. Okay. I feel like we're entering past those. If we watch the weather signifies a lot of what God is saying to the earth. He's done it in the Bible with tearing up full cities because of sin. The Bible tells us what to expect when it comes to different things that is happening in the land and to the earth. As we progress, as this election year continues to happen, be mindful and watchful of the weather and the events that are taking place, because that is unfolding. And in this speaking, it's telling us the story, it's showing us how close we really are to getting to the end of this thing. Okay. Things are beginning to be more and more ramped up as evil push against God and the things of God more, and the plan of God, as men begin to go against what God is trying to implement in this world. We are going to see more and more catastrophic events. I've said this several times. It will begin to happen like that. So we must be prepared in our spirits. We must make sure that we are ready, okay? Ready to go. Because the people don't be ready. You want to jump scared when all this hell break loose, but you should have been on God before that. I ain't going to go there. I was going to talk about this one lady, but that don't even matter. Begin to watch the weather. Begin to watch how the earth is responding. The earth is speaking out. The earth is literally preparing for its king. Oh, I felt that one. The earth is preparing for its king. There's some oil on that, okay? There's some good oil on that. That was the video, y'all. I got to end with that. The earth is preparing for its king. Oh, do y'all feel that thing? That thing was good to me.
Shout out to Twin BOT. I definitely feel where she coming from. Whether it's the weather, I definitely feel like things are ramping up. The things that happen in everyday news.
Starting to get going down here. We are right across the street from Bush Stadium off 8th Street, really right below Highway 40 or I-64. Behind us, you can see some military vehicles and military members starting to arrive and get ready to go for this exercise. The drills start today. Really, this is more of a prep day, and then they run through Wednesday. The downtown area will be even busier than usual with this large-scale training taking place. Bob Marino Automotive Group Skyfox can show you the scene over us live right now. Again, we're in this parking lot just south of Bush Stadium. Vehicles just starting to arrive as things start to amp up here for this training. We can also show you some video that we captured a little earlier as military vehicles started making their way through downtown St. Louis. The exercises here are being facilitated by the Michigan National Guard working in conjunction with the Missouri National Guard. The drill scenario here involves an 8.4 magnitude earthquake from the New Madrid seismic fault hitting the St. Louis area. The training is going to focus on a simulated response to structural damage, civilian casualties, and chemical contamination in the vicinity of Busch Stadium during a baseball game. Organizers tell us some 500 people are taking part in this drill. It also involves river crossings along the Mississippi between St. Charles and Grafton in the event that bridges could be damaged by a major disaster like an earthquake. These exercises are not open to the public. Authorities say drivers along 40 or 64 near Bush could see this equipment and exercises taking place. I-55 drivers might also see some military traffic this morning. These exercises are going to use a lot of material, including helicopters and vehicles, damaged vehicles and debris, and there will be multiple staging areas near Busch Stadium. One note for drivers, 8th and Clark right by Busch will be closed during the day as these exercises unfold. This is the first time that St. Louis is hosting these exercises. Last year, similar exercises took place in Nashville. We have more vehicles starting to kind of pull in here as this starts to get going. More military vehicles, some St. Louis police vehicles just around the area here, all taking part in this exercise. For now, live downtown, Chris Bringay, Fox News. Start.
That's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm know what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.